Hey, in this video, I want to show you how to set up a student paper in the APA style. And this is based on the publication manual of the APA, which stands for the American Psychological Association. The 7th manual came out in October 2019. And so what is new is that there are now two different types of papers that you can choose from. And if you're writing a paper as a student in a class, you will most likely use the student sample paper, which you can see right here in the annotated version, or you can see this right here as a student sample paper. You can download it as a Word document. I'm going to take a look at the sample paper with you right here. So what's new in this student sample paper is that you don't have any more running head in the header. You only have page numbers. You have a cover page with the title of your paper, and then here you include your name, the department or the school that you're affiliated with, the university's name, the title of the class, the name of the instructor, and the date goes in there. And I'll walk you through it in a Microsoft Word document in just a moment. I just wanted you to see the annotated version here. The biggest change again is that there is no more running head on top. If you've never worked with APA, you don't know what running head is, just feel relaxed about it. If you do need to know what it is, you can always go back to the professional sample paper, which still uses the running head. So most instructors will most likely switch to the student sample paper as the format for student papers in their classes. But it always is a good idea to check with your instructor. So let me open a blank Word document right here. So this is my blank slate, and I'm going to show this to you in the Microsoft Word version that's on my desktop, as well as the Microsoft Word version in Office 365. So here in the Word document, the first thing you want to do, that I like to do, is to click on this little icon right here. It's a show and hide icon. It shows all the formatting symbols. I like to have this on. In the desktop version, you can't have it on in the Office 365 version, unfortunately. I haven't figured out where, but in the desktop version, you can. You put this on, and you'll see everything that you're formatting. Any kind of enter spaces, any tab spaces, any, for example, page breaks. All of that is marked. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I'm going to go through these in a second. So the first thing you want to do is maybe change. I would suggest changing the font. It's always set as Calibri 11. I like to use Times New Roman. You can probably use Calibri as well, but Times New Roman might be your best bet. It's a pretty standard font. So to make sure that your the default setting of all Microsoft Word documents in terms of margins is that all the documents have 1-inch margins on the top, on the right and the left, and on the bottom as well. You see this right here with those rulers. If you want to make sure that's the case, you can always click on page layout right here, click on margins. You'll see the normal, quote unquote, normal is checked. Top, left, bottom, right is all 1 inch. So that should always be selected. And again, it's the default setting for Microsoft Word. Also, the next change you want to do is you want to, again, double click, highlight this document, and there's two ways you can do this. You can right click and click on this paragraph option, and the paragraph window will disappear, or you can also, again, go on page layout, click on paragraph, and if you hover here, it'll tell you that the paragraph dialog box, which is the proper name for it, will appear as well. So two different options. I like the right clicking. Again, I double click with the left on here to highlight everything, right click on paragraph, and here you want to make sure that the spacing is set on 0 and line spacing is double spaced. Almost everything in a APA paper needs to be double spaced. A few exceptions based on figures and so on, block quotes. You can read about those in the publication manual if you need to know those. But in terms of most text, everything's double-spaced, including the cover page, the text paper itself, as well as the reference page. So once you've done that, you're pretty much set up for this paper. Before we start writing and crafting our title page, you also need to add page numbers, because that's something that you'll need to have. It's the only thing in the header in a student paper that you'll need to have. You want to use top of the page and select the one on the right, and so there you go. So in the header now you have the page number. So we go back to the main paper, and on the first page everything needs to be centered. I always like to go down one or two lines. So the title of my paper, let's say it's the effects of yoga on recovery rates from knee surgery. Okay. Then I leave leave a line space, and then I put my name, which I should be able to spell properly. May. I am, let's say, with the Department of Kinesiology at the University of Maryland, Baltimore. My class is called MHA 603, Science Writing. My instructor's name is Toni Morrison. And the date for this paper is, I think it's Thanksgiving of this year, 2019. So I need to then highlight my title and bold it. Okay, that's one of the formatting requirements. And I want you to notice that I have capitalized all major nouns in the title, which is a standard for APA. So now you have a couple of options to get to the second page. You can take the enter space and go down, 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 down until you're on the second page, which I find a little tedious. So what I like to do is I like to insert a page break, which gets me to the next page. And you notice up here there's page number 2 in the right-hand corner. The first line of the second page, which is the start page of your paper, of your proper paper, is again centered your title of your paper. And then you want to make sure that you left a line right here, the rest of your paper, and it's not bolded. So I'm going to start writing my paper, and of course I'll probably draft several times, but let's say I have my first sentence already figured out. The beginning of a paragraph should always be indented based on previous research. Recovery rates from knee surgery have been notoriously difficult and lengthy. And then I add the citation here for my previous research. And I might want to say, for example, a recent systematic review points out that blah, 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 whatever they point out. Add the citation here. Let's say it's Johnson et al. Who wrote this 2000. Recent probably would be something like 2018. And then that's how I'm going to continue my paper. And you notice here everything is double spaced. Let's double check this again. It's double spaced before, after. So I continue my paragraph here, and I'm just going to put in here random letters so it doesn't random words. So let's say that it's in the end of my paragraph. I indent the next paragraph again, right, and so on. And I continue writing my paper. And that's basically how you get started. So this is how you set up your paper. Now I'm going to show this to you in Microsoft Word in Office 365. So, oh, one thing I forgot to do. Let me go back to document. You probably want to save this, maybe even before you start making any changes. So, yoga surgery, and this is for MHA 603, November 2019, and I save it that way. So let's do this here for the first thing. I'm going to save this as MHA603 paper, knee surgery, November 2019. It takes a moment. So, let's see, Microsoft is opening up. There we go. So the same thing applies with the Microsoft to the Microsoft Word desktop version. The one difference is you can't see the formatting the way that you can have the option in the desktop version. So here, just to make sure that your layout is properly done, which again is the default setting, you click on margins, and again you select normal, so you have your 1-inch margins up, top and the bottom, left and right. I would start again here with inserting page numbers, and you click here page number to the right side of the header, and they will add the page numbers for you as you write. And so you just gotta click back to the main page. Otherwise, you're going to stay in the header, and you want to get to the main page. The same thing applies here. You want to correct the default setting by Microsoft Word with a paragraph function. You can do this by right-clicking and getting to the paragraph dialog box. It looks a little different, but you can also get to it by layout and clicking on the 3 dots here, paragraph options. Okay, again, I like the right-click paragraph because I know right where I go. Indentation is the same. Again, make sure the spacing is set to 0 for both before and after, and you have your double line spacing as well. Okay, so since I'm working on my cover page, I again want to align in the center, maybe go down a notch or two. I put in my title here, the effects of yoga on recovery rates from knee surgery, and rates should be corrected. I leave one line empty. I put my name. I'm not going to write this all out. You get the idea. Department. I put the class. Then I put the name of my instructor, and then the date. Okay. And then again, I want to highlight this, and I can bold it. Again, notice the capitalization of all the major nouns. And the same thing here, rather than going down with all this enter space, it's particularly difficult here because you can't even see it. I like to go and insert, looks similar, no page number, insert page break, sorry about that. So I'll go to the page break. Just like I did in the other version, I'm going to highlight this and copy either by Control-C, that's what I usually do, or I can also right-click and copy, and then go back here and right-click paste. Now, sometimes it actually doesn't work in this Microsoft Word version. You have to use the keys. So Control-C is copy, Control-V is paste. And again, here I want to make sure that I get back when I start writing my paper, I get back to the left align, and I indent one space based on previous research. Recovery rates for knee surgery have, I want to change the language a little bit, have proven to be very lengthy and difficult, especially for women above the age of 65. And again, my spelling right now not the greatest. Oops. Let's change this here, over the age of 65. And I'm going to continue my paragraph. Just going to get one more line so we can, okay, here's a paragraph. And I write the next one. And you might notice that it automatically indents here for you. It's one of the features of Microsoft Word in Office 365, so which works to your advantage because you'll have to indent anyways. But sometimes if you have headings, you might have to go back with the backspace. So the cursor here will tell you where you are. So that's how you set it up in here. We saved it already, so you're good to go. Write your paper, and if you're just curious if the page numbers appear, if you want to click on the reading view, let's see what that looks like. You'll see the page numbers appear. They don't show up. You can't really see them when you're in the editing option. Okay, so editing browser. Again, if you have the option, open the desktop app version on your Microsoft Word at home. It's on your laptop. It's a lot easier than using the online version sometimes. But if you're in a pinch, you can always use it here as well. All right. So good luck with your papers.